What's up guys, this is the BLU Pure XL, and it's huge, it's bold, and like the name implies, it's extra large. And although to some its sheer size may be a turnoff, its price tag definitely isn't. But at $349, does it have the right parts to be a flagship killer? So without further ado, let's get started. Now that we got the size out of the way, and if you're still watching this because you're interested in the phone, let me start off by saying that this has been one of the most enjoyable Android phones I have used this year. But with that being said, it's not perfect, and neither was the last Android phone that I used. So what exactly do you get for $349? Well, just take a look at the spec sheet and you'll see that on paper, this has almost everything you'd expect from a flagship phone, including NFC. But aside from its large footprint, what's the catch? So I've taken this phone with me everywhere I go for about a month now, and I can tell you everything I like and don't like about it. Now keep in mind this is subjective because my needs are different from yours, so just keep note of that. The size wasn't a big issue for me, and I would have preferred it being a bit smaller, but on the flip side, when you're playing video games or watching a movie, size isn't an issue anymore because it becomes a joyful experience. And there's a reason why large phones are called phablets, because at times you feel like you're using a tablet instead of a phone. And this phone is heavy and the edges are rough, and ergonomically the Nexus 6 wins hands down compared to any large phone out there today. But again, your experience may vary depending on the size of your hand. There is a fingerprint reader in the back which worked flawlessly for me and was very fast, and I will say it's a lot easier to use compared to those that are in the front like the iPhone or my Galaxy S6. Now the camera was surprisingly very good, even when comparing it to the king of cameras, the Galaxy S6. And in certain situations, the Pure XL exposed the image better. Now take for example this very complicated shot. Outside it was very bright, sunny, and taking a picture indoors while also having the window in the background, you can easily overexpose the image, causing the highlights to blow out. The added shutter button on the body of the phone seemed like a nice touch, but I felt like it got in the way when holding the phone. Using the volume down key as a shutter button would have been a better choice in my opinion, but I'm just nitpicking. Now on the software side, it's running a very slightly skinned version of Android 5.1 with a few added customizations to enhance the experience, but most can be turned off. I was a bit bummed to see there was no way to add software keys, especially since the capacitive buttons don't light up, but I'm sure that can be added in a software update. Now in terms of performance, it is one of the fastest Android phones that I've used this year, so if you like to play a lot of video games, consume media, or do a lot of multitasking, you will not be disappointed. And even though the speakers are rear facing, the sound is really clear and it does sound good. Now battery life was great and I can get through the whole entire day without any problems, and I never once worried about the phone dying. Now this whole entire time I used this phone, not once did I feel that it was a budget phone. And everyone I showed the phone to thought was a premium Android device, but there's one big concern of mine, and that's software updates. Let's just say BLU doesn't have the best track record for updates, and although I did speak to them at CTIA in Las Vegas, they assured me software updates is in their priority list, and that's still something to be seen. But if they do deliver on their promise, then BLU can be a big competitor in the Android marketplace. So with that being said, if you can live with those compromises and a few small quirks, I'd say it's a phone worth looking into. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any questions about this phone. Thanks for watching and you'll catch me in the next one. Adios.